Hey folks, I thought I'd talk to you today about how to ratchet up the impact of the praise that you may offer to the people on your team. And the reason I thought to talk about this with you today is that I heard from a leader this week about somebody on their team who wasn't sure how they felt about this person. They said that they had come to them and said, I wonder if you would share with me how you think I'm doing, because I'm concerned that you're not happy with my performance. And so this leader was saying, I don't understand why this is. I tell them all the time what a good job they're doing. And so as we delved into this question together, I learned about some of the ways in which this leader wasn't giving praise and feedback in a way that would have impact, that would have kind of resilience, that impact would last. And so I thought we should come together, you and me, this morning, to talk about how to ratchet up the impact of your praise, how to have it land deeper and stick around longer. So one thing that you can do, and this is something that this leader and I talked about, is be specific. It is quick and easy to say, hey, nice job on that presentation yesterday. Hey, good work at the end of the day. Thank you for your hard work at the end of the day. And what's going to be more impactful than that is to be specific. And so the more specific you are about what it is that you're seeing that you appreciate, what it is that they've done that's praiseworthy, the more impact, both now and for the longevity of that impact, is to be specific. So instead of saying something like, hey, nice work on the presentation yesterday, I'd recommend, a level of specificity that looks kind of like, hey, you stood up in front of the room, and I'm walking a little hard, so I'm getting a little breathless. You stood up in front of the room and you waited until everybody gave you their full attention. And that made sure that everybody heard everything that you said. And maybe even more importantly, the impact that had was that because you were having respect for yourself and for the information that you wanted everybody to get from you, you really commanded everyone else's respect. You had respect for yourself and for your content, and so you commanded everyone else's respect, and that was tremendous. So keep that up. That level of specificity has a couple of effects. One thing that level of specificity does is that it tells the person that you mean it, right? Is that if you have not just said, if you just say good job, then there's a chance that people will interpret that as you being nice, perhaps rather than you being accurate. You being nice, perhaps rather than you being exactly truthful. When you get into that level of specificity, then it's much more apparent that you really mean what you're saying. So be specific. Another way that you can ratchet up the impact of your praise is to absolutely give frequent praise verbally. Verbally is great. It allows people to hear your tone of voice, to, if you're on video or in person, to see your facial expressions so they can see the congruence of the words and your tone and your facial expression. So they're getting the message that you're happy with what they've done across multiple modes even, kind of like a multimedia reinforcement of, hey, I mean this. So that's another way you can really have a profound impact, is to be verbal. And then it's also useful every once in a while to go to a mode that's more lasting. Send it by text or Slack or Teams. So, in a moment when they're feeling down, they can go and see your specific praise of their work because there's this digital record of it. And that can be useful for them to go back to when it's time for them to evaluate their own performance. They can go back and look at these things. And when it's time for you to evaluate their performance, you can go back and look at these things as well. So it creates a nice record. That's kind of a bonus. And then sometimes it's valuable to actually put these things in writing. So they've got a physical artifact. Put the praise down in a thank you card. Give them some little token of your appreciation that can live on their desk or on their shelf. A little knick-knack perhaps that comes with that note. And this artifact of your appreciation, along with that lasting written record with specific praise and the impact that their behavior, their performance has had on you or on the company, these things all work together to create an incredible self-reinforcing impact of that praise. Now, some people say praise in public, criticize in private. And this isn't a bad bit of guidance, and it can backfire on you. I think we all know people who really don't want to be praised in public. They don't want you to stand up at the staff meeting and say, I want everybody to give John a little bit of a round of applause because of what John did over the weekend for the Schuster account. Thank you, John. Everybody say thank you, John, and everybody clap. That kind of public praise for some people is really rewarding, and for others is really kind of mortifying. I don't think I've ever met anybody who doesn't appreciate a little bit of subtle public acknowledgement. And what that might look like instead is, you're at the staff meeting, and before you officially get started, you say where other people can overhear, hey, John, you really pulled out all the stops over the weekend and worked hard on behalf of the Schuster account. Really appreciate it. That really helped us get it across the finish line on time, and you know how important on time is to us. So thanks, John. All right, everybody, let's get started. So now John has been acknowledged. It's been really specific, which also helps John to not feel like he's being aggrandized. You're just kind of acknowledging some facts, and you're acknowledging those facts in a setting where other people now know what John has done. And there are very few people who, while they don't like public praise, do want people to know about the specifics of their efforts, the specifics of their accomplishments, and don't want to talk about them themselves. So acknowledgement in public can help broaden and deepen and prolong the impact of your appreciation. Last thing to share with you today about how to increase the impact and the longevity of that impact from your praise is, don't let praise be the only thing that people hear from you. You've got to also have a critical eye and ask for more, ask for improvements, and continually help people grow and improve. Because when you put the praise in the context of only other praise, then it starts to feel as if, it's kind of like you're your mom, right? Okay, you are the person who sees that everything that I do is gold. I'm like Midas to you. And so if all you've got is praise, then it's going to have less impact. and it's going to have less and less impact over time. But if your praise is peppered here and there, also if your feedback rather is peppered here and there with some critical requests for more, for adjustment, for refinement, then when you do praise, it's going to have greater impact. And I'm not suggesting that you become a criticism machine. When you're specific in your praise, that's another kind of being critical. The science of relationships and the research says that the ratio of praise or of acknowledgement and attaboys to criticisms, hey, could you do this differently, or you didn't do this quite right, or could you refine here? The ratio should be 7 to 1. 7 acknowledgements, 7 attaboys, 7 kudos for every bit of criticism. And boy, is that a hard ratio to meet. I don't think that I succeed. But knowing that that's what the science says, I am definitely weighted on the side of praise, weighted on the side of attaboys. And so if you just hold that ratio in your mind, you're gonna be doing better than most of the people out there. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope that you have found it valuable. It's been nice to have you on my walk with me. I'm Aaron Schmuckler, CEO and company culture engineer at the Yes Works, where we are working tirelessly every day to help you engineer trust into your culture so that people and profits rise. Have a great day.